Hello, this is Mark from Cedar Creek Bottoms Farmstead Life with another fireside chat. Hope everyone's doing okay today. Um, you'll see I'm in a different area today. Um, I'm up at the Kymulga grist mill. I won't be doing nothing about the grist mill today. That's for later on, maybe in a few weeks. I'm gonna do something. There was some Bigfoot sightings from up here and some other stuff. Come some big rain, so we couldn't make it up on Creepy Mountain. I've got one truck that I've got to put a water pump on. My four-wheel drive truck, my other truck, I kind of didn't want to go up there in it and be sliding around everywhere. So I've still got, hopefully, be able to get with Marsh and Keith this weekend. Hopefully the rain will hold off here in Alabama. We're talking about us getting 4 to 6 inches of rain this weekend. So we're going to try to meet up there Saturday and Sunday and tell her when she's seen that in the trees. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. I'm hoping. Anyway, I hope you can see in the background. I'm looking across the creek. This is Talladega Creek. So, and you know, there has been some stuff from here, but we'll talk about that down the road, and go from there. I just wanted to also say, remember Chris Reinhardt with Discover Sasquatch. I'll go check him out. Also the Beast TV guys, and I'm gonna try to keep this a little short one today. I spoke with my friend Adam this past week. I told you he's fixing to move off up toward Gatlinburg, and he, rung a bell with me today. He reminded me about something, and so I'm gonna talk a few minutes about it, and we're gonna talk about some different other things. But up on Creepy Mountain, something we started noticing after a little while, when the boogers would come up around us, mostly at the lake. This happened at the lake area. I don't really remember it happening anywhere else on the club, but just mainly in the lake area. Also in Coosa County, it happened to us several times, was we would hear this rattle happen when the boogers would come up. And while we knew the boogers was there, either they'd start their little rock clicking, or the little pebble stick throwing thing, or we get, see their eye shine, out through the woods. They'd be behind a tree peeping at us. And I've showed you the different places on around the lake that they would stand and do their little stuff. But the sound, and Rebecca couldn't find me a baby rattle today, so we had to get one of these, I forgot what they're called. You know what they are, most everybody. But and of course I can't do it like they was doing it on the hunting club. And I know a lot of people are going to say, what in the world? Me and Adam started noticing, and he caught a lot of this on recordings. So I'm hopefully when we have him on, I'm hoping he'll be able to bring some of his auto and play that. Now we tried to debunk it. The first thing we thought was some type of insect bug native to Alabama. Maybe looked it up, couldn't find nothing. It wasn't June bug, it wasn't cicadas, it wasn't, we couldn't find nothing that was in this realm. So, y'all excuse me, there goes my phone ringing. Sorry about that. I figured I better go ahead and answer that. So I imagine Rebecca would delete that little part out of there. If don't, it's okay. Like I said, we started noticing that we would start hearing this rattle noise. And sometimes it almost get in a unison form. It would be this. A lot of people say, well, it's a June bug. It wasn't June bug. Like I said, we noticed a lot of times when that would happen, the other bugs and bullfrogs, whatever else, would just shut up. The other thing was we would hear this in the wintertime. Cold weather, we would still hear this. So I'm wondering if any of the rest of y'all, I have mentioned this to a couple of people in their Bigfoot research or their research in the paranormal. Have they heard this? Really just don't know what that is. A few people say maybe it's young ones trying to do infrasound. Maybe, I don't know. It's just weird. But I know me and Adam was catching it a lot. Keith heard it. Some other people, I think Pat's heard it. I have to ask him again about that. I think a good many of us that went up on Creepy Mountains heard it. Like I said too, when me and Adam went down on Coosa County on some private land, we heard it there. And like I said, we tried to debunk it. Tried to make sure it wasn't some type of insect. Couldn't find nothing close to it. It's like a baby rattle. I mean, you just get to going. And this would go on for a while. Of course, in our recordings up there, we heard a lot of other stuff that was crazy. And I'm hoping Adam can have some of that maybe. When I do have him on, he can play some of that. Just some crazy stuff. Some of it could be paranormal. It's hard to say. I don't typically go off into the paranormal realm just because I don't want to fool with it, actually. The hitchhiker effect, I just don't want to fool with it. The good thing about Bigfoot, well, I will say this, they don't come home with you, but they kind of do follow you home, especially when you live close by. It's easy for them to find you. So that's something I want to ask, everybody to think about in your past sightings or encounters or your research. Have you heard a baby rattle when you knew that boogers were around where you were at? So typically what we would do when we'd go up on club, we didn't really do walking around a lot. We didn't really go up there at night and walk the woods. We typically went to the lake or the four-way or the beaver pond, or we go over our own number 9 road that I've mentioned before. That number 9 road is going to be brought up some here in the future, especially about the Blue Man. Blue Man, let me go ahead and explain that, but we won't get into it deep. Blue Man there's been 3 sightings of him. He's probably an old Bigfoot, we're guessing, that doesn't have any hair anymore. Jonathan Odom seen him. Deer hunter up in a tree stand seen him. And then another guy that used to coon hunt on the property seen him. He doesn't have no hair. And we called him Blue Man because his skin looks, they describe bluish color, which could be a gray. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe the way the light was hitting him made him look blue. We're figuring he's an older one. May have a disease, don't know. I haven't seen him. But I have in that area where he tends to stay. Because where Jonathan seen him, where the deer hunter seen him, and where the coon hunter seen him, is all in a little old area there, which is also the area we think is a bedding area anyway. Me and Keith had done pretty much determined that was a bedding area. Nobody hunts that area of the club, that little section. I got growled at one time in there pretty good when I did go in there. Also, I've had limbs snapped on me in there real loud. Not a deer snap. This was a deliberate snap on me to let me know that, hey, we know you're here and we're watching, because I could feel it. So we'll talk about him some more down the road. But getting back, we would go set up somewhere And we would sit there, usually build a fire, and we would just sit and talk and act like normal people. Not really get real quiet and be watching like a hawk watching a chicken, you know, but we would kind of get there and get in a relaxed mode because we felt like it would bring them in better. And it usually did. We done some walking. We done our walking mostly in the daytime. Now, of course, when we was up there coon hunting at night, we walked the woods a lot because we'd go to, you know, to the dog's treat, and we had stuff happen then too. But we felt like building a fire, and that was something me and Keith and Mr. Tall talked about, was just getting in one area and let them come to you. And it worked. They would usually surround us. There'd usually be one over here and one over here. And usually you'd have one that would make racket where probably the other ones could probably get up closer to you. You know, that's how Jonathan caught some of his footage of that and crawling around the edge of the pond. That's how Paul Hunsley got the thermals. They went over to a place, camped out, and then come up there and checked them out. So that's how we had stuff happen. Now, of course, you know, we had stuff happen when we was coon hunting. We had stuff happen when we was running deer dogs. Now, since some of the deer dog hunting is going on, like I said, we got a lot of new club members, and I don't really know them. I don't know what they're experiencing because they're probably not going to tell nobody. But I just wanted everybody to really think about the rattle. Duck flying in. I kept hearing something. I want everybody to really think about that. Anyway, just keep that in mind. Sometimes there's other things happening when these boogers are around. You know, the orbs. Seen them, I don't know how many times. I was seeing them before I knew Bigfoot existed. There used to be a plantation that I used to have permission to hunt. Coon hunted, deer hunted on it some, and me and my friend Larry hunted that place a lot. Keith went down there with us a few times. In fact, Cedar Creek, where our name comes from, runs right through that property. That's where I'd go turn out a lot. It used to be a lot of springs in there and stuff. And this old plantation from the 1800s. There's still some of the buildings left there now. Somebody bought the house and moved it. I think the house was built in 1840. But had a lot of stuff happen. We watched a ball of light come toward me and Larry one night down there. Come down the creek toward us, about the size of a basketball. Got pretty close to us, then just disappeared. Watched the light go across a ridge up there one night. Just strange stuff. Of course, the night one coming down the creek, we thought somebody was coming down the creek with a big light, you know. I don't know, just some weird stuff. That's also the place that I had something call my name several times out. And like I said, all this was before Bigfoot, so I don't know what was going on with that deal. But just, you know, keep this little rattle back of your mind. You know, when you've been, you know, researching or had an encounter, a sighting, if maybe you heard some of that. Don't know what it is. I'm not even going to come out and say what I think it might be because I really just don't know. But it's just something else that I thought I'd bring up. When I have Adam on, maybe he can, maybe, you know, he can give some more insight to it too, because he heard it a lot more than I did, because a lot of times he'd be up there with other people at the club and hear it going on. So there was multiple witnesses to this. Of course, you know, we always had the normal rock clicking, the pebble throwing, the stick, you know, little twigs throwing, the grunts, you know, the whoops, the knocks, whistles, the occasional scream far off. They would never scream right on top of us. They'd always be off when they do that. Of course, the crazy owl sounds, the crazy just other sounds, you know, just don't know. So anyway, like I said, we're gonna keep this long today. We've had a big rain here shortly. I mean, here a little while ago, and like I said, they're talking 46 inches this weekend here in this part of Alabama. So I don't know. I'm hoping that I'll be able to meet up with Keith and Marsha and get this video going, and then hopefully, get up with Adam in the next week and get him. Of course, I want y'all to remember we got the Alabama Paranormal Bigfoot outing coming up down in Hollins, Alabama. September 30th, October 1st, 2nd. Primitive camping, so there's no water, no electricity, no bathrooms. Keep that in mind. 12 miles from Sylacauga, the nearest town that's going to have restaurants or motels. So keep that in mind. The road getting in there is a good road. Campsite's pretty good. A lot of it's kind of level, so if you bring a camper, you can level it pretty good. So just keep that in mind. Going to have a few people speaking there, so y'all keep that in mind too. So, like I said, on this grist mill, we'll do some stuff on it here pretty soon. We'll do some stuff on it. A lot of history here. So, well, I'm gonna get off here today. If any of you have Bigfoot encounters you want to tell me about, I've told you how to contact us. If you have a sighting that you would like to let me know about, tell me about, shoot me that email or shoot me a message, and we'll go from there. Like I said, the best way to get a hold of me is through Facebook Messenger, and then we'll go from there. I'm pretty easy to find on Facebook, or you can go to our Cedar Creek Bottoms farm, Facebook page. I will get back with you. Anyway, I hope y'all have a good weekend coming up. We're getting in that time of the year where it's fixing to be time to get in the woods. Bugs will start settling down, start cooling off. We got some temperatures next week in Alabama in the low 60s and high 50s. I like to hear that. Like I told you, when the weather started cooling off, we'll start hitting the Creepy Mountain a lot more. We'll start probably going up there and doing some night stuff and videoing it. We'll go from there. One other thing I'll tell you about real quick. I'm 100% sure now that I have a Bigfoot at the house. We found another track the other day at the pond. Since I've put the cameras up, the slapping the back door and fooling with the doors has quit. But we got one coming up. There's no doubt. We found the second set of tracks. Went to looking around the pond because Rebecca did hear a big splash out there one night, and we know it wasn't a duck. She said this was like a human jumping in or something. So, and we did find a track on the back side of the pond. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get me some casting material, because I'm gonna probably find more. Start casting some of them. This one's about the same way. I think it's the same footprint we got in Okra Patch, a few weeks ago. Same booger. Probably a juvenile. He's pilfering around. Like I told y'all, if you grow food, you have livestock, you have animals coming there to feed on it, and guess what? Them boogers are going to follow them animals. I don't know if he's staying there in those stretch of woods behind the house, or if he's just coming and going. I really don't know. I'm hoping to get back there and do some walking around. Things are starting to slow down on the farm, so I'll be able to start doing some of that back there too. Go back there and start looking for signs. See if I can find anything out of the ordinary. So we'll be doing that. But y'all give us a subscribe, hit that notification bell, Like, share, comment, especially comment. I always want to tell you, that's what I want you to do, is comment. That lets me know you're watching the video and if you're enjoying it or not. If y'all ever have something else you want me to talk about, let me know. I don't mind. If I know something about it, I'll talk about it. So, like I said, this is, experiences that I and other folks have had from the hunting club, Creepy Mountain, and from other, when we're doing other investigations in places. So, but anyway, I hope y'all have a good weekend, and we'll talk with you later. This is Mark, Cedar Creek Bottoms, Farmstead Life, Fireside Chats. We'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.